Hi, I'm Ashley Schrader. This is a flow yoga class, which means we're going to move in a style where the movements and the poses are connected to the breath, but we're also going to take it slow. I'm going to do my best to kind of walk us through how to get into the postures. And if you feel like you need to break along the way, feel free to take a break. Just have a seat and you can watch. You can sit and close your eyes and connect to the breath and meditate. It's whatever works best for you. There's no pressure. One comment before you begin is that primarily this class is yoga asana, which is just 1/8 of what yoga really is. Asana means posture, and I'm going to incorporate some breath work into this too. The sole purpose of this class and a lot of my classes in general is to build up the ability to engage the parasympathetic nervous system, so the rest and digest response, even in moments of discomfort. So we're training the nervous system to get out of that fight or flight mode when we're uncomfortable or when we're kind of pushed to our edge, and to get to a place where we're moving from clarity and not reactivity. So we build resilience through this. And I think right now, given everything that's going on, living in a pandemic, this is a skill that we need. This is something that we need to train every single day so that as we move about our lives, we are able to respond without that immediate urge and tendency to react, which we all do. So don't judge yourself if you're like that. All right, find a comfortable seat. I'm sitting on a block because it feels much better in my hips to get my hips above my knees. Now you can sit cross-legged. You can also sit, if sitting on the ground is too much, you can sit in a chair and just press the soles of the feet down into the floor. But no matter where you are, I want the shoulders to move back so that they're stacked over the pelvis. And then I want the tops of the ears to lift up and back so there's a slight tilt of the chin towards the chest. And before we begin movement, I want us to take some inventory of where we're at right now. So we'll begin by watching how the breath moves in and out of the body. This rise and fall that is not manipulated, it's effortless. And we use the breath as the anchor through yoga practice. So we have the ability to rest the mind on something. As you probably notice already, your typical thought patterns are starting to creep in, and that's normal. But instead of getting judgmental about it, can you just observe and maybe even like give a little smile? You can fake it at first or just a little laugh at like, hey, there goes that thought again. And the less we attach judgment, emotion, color to our thought patterns, the less likely we are to spin with those thoughts, and to carry those thoughts with us. And go ahead and start to deepen the breath. In yoga, we practice what's called ujjayi breath. It's in and out the nose, and we're constricting the back of the throat so that you almost hear it sounds like the ocean. And the breath becomes more audible, and that's okay. But there is this nerve that runs from the brainstem to the pelvic floor called the vagus nerve that runs our parasympathetic nervous system. And so it trails right at the back of the throat. So imagine like you're giving that vagus nerve a little bit of a massage. as the breath centers there. In and out the nose. And take 3 more. Anchoring the mind on the breath. And then we'll take a cleansing breath together. So collectively, we'll inhale through the nose and then release that out the mouth. Take both hands to the heart. Do that again. Inhale, fill up on breath. Let it go. Last one. Biggest inhale yet. Take a little pause at the top. Find almost like this levity here. And then let it go. Good. Slowly open the eyes, and we're going to meet in a tabletop. So you'll just move your block over to the side, and we'll get on our hands and our knees. So my hands are right underneath my shoulders. My fingers are spread wide. Keeping my fingers spread wide really helps to engage all the muscles here around the wrist and protect the wrist joint. My knees stacked directly under my hips. And from here, I'm just going to take my elbows out to the side a little bit and then wrap them in and keep a little micro bend in my elbows as they continue to wrap in. I want you to feel that there's some engagement in the back of the shoulder. And that's also when we're on our hands, that's also going to protect the shoulder. So I want to get that into our muscle memory now. If yoga is new, it's easy to forget that we need to use these muscles when we're on our hands. So keeping that engagement in the back of the shoulder, just take your tailbone and point it up. So I'm kind of arching in my low back, and I drop my belly, and then take your chest and drop it to the floor. Not touching the floor, but like the movement is towards the floor. And then pull the chest forward. And then curl the tailbone and round the mid back and the upper back, and take the chin in towards the chest. And then inhale, find the expansion again along the spine. And then exhale, push through the palms and round out chin to chest. And go ahead, and you can go at your own pace. If the breath is longer, you could take more time with it. But can you really focus on connecting the breath to the movement? That's key. That's what gets us present moment oriented. That's what makes asana meditative. Because without that real focus on breath, that mindfulness, it just becomes exercise. It could be aerobics. Give yourself one more of these. All right, look back, bring your feet together, take your knees a little bit wider than hips width, and then sink your hips back towards your heels. Walk the hands forward, let the forehead rest on the floor. Inhale, press into the palms and look forward. Walk your fingertips forward another inch, and then drop in again, forehead to the floor. This is called child's pose. The more I can send my hips back to my heels, the more I'm going to get stretch in the back body. One more. Okay, on the next inhale, come on back up to that tabletop. And then on the inhale, we're going to extend the right leg back behind us. Look back and make sure the right toes point towards the floor. So my tendency is to externally rotate at my hip where my right toes point out laterally. I'm going to turn them in and point them down. From there, I can really feel the connection of my right inner groin to my low belly. Really extend the right sole of foot back, and then take your inner shoulders and draw them back away from the ears so you find the back of the shoulder again. For 2. For 1. Stay here, and then bring the knee forward and curl the spine. Inhale, extend the right leg back. Exhale, knee in towards the nose. Push through the palms so you round out the upper back. And then inhale, extend. Lower the right knee down. Other side. Inhale, extends the left leg back. Check. Left toes point towards the floor. Check your inner shoulder. They move back away from the ears. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. It's not going to touch, so don't worry about that. Just it's the action of the knee towards the nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower the left knee to the floor. All right. Slowly, we're going to tuck the toes under and then see if we can start to press our hips up and back towards downward facing dog. So you can look here if you're not sure. But my feet are going to stay about hip width distance. I can bend my knees if I need to, but I'm going to push through my palms so that I can take my hips up and back. Now my hamstrings might be really tight, so I might just keep this bend in the knees, but I'm continuing to push through the palms so that I feel engagement all the way through the back of the arm to the back of the shoulder. And if you feel like there's some space there, you could press the heels towards the floor. On the next inhale, lift the heels up high, bend the knees and look forward. We're going to step forward slowly to the top of the mat. And then when we get to the top, my feet are hip width still, my knees bend, and I just drape my torso over my thighs. Catch your elbows if that feels good. Otherwise, you can keep your hands on the floor. You can sway side to side. But really, the purpose of this fold is to relax the neck and the shoulders, which it's really hard to do. And it's actually kind of a skill to be able to do this. You can sway side to side just to kind of explore how the low back is doing, how the hamstrings are doing. And then bend the knees a lot and see if you can press your feet down and out like towards the lateral edges of the mat so you feel like the backs of your legs and your glutes turn on. Try to keep that and then slowly curl up, roll up one vertebrae at a time. And then we'll meet standing tall in mountain pose. My palms face forward. Okay, if you've got balance here, you could really start to soften up the eyelids and maybe close the eyes completely. I'm going to root down through my feet and just gently feel how the more I press down through the tripod of each foot, the more I get energy up back into my legs. So feel that lift in the quads and then take your pelvis and tilt the top of the pelvis back and the bottom of the pelvis forward. So all you're doing is turning on the low abdomen to make a neutral pelvis. Inhale, just take the shoulders towards the ears. Exhale out the mouth, shoulders down and back. Keep the palms facing forward. Keep the crown of the head lifting, and we'll take the next 3 breaths to dedicate this practice. And maybe it's just to that shift in the nervous system that we were talking about earlier, to that ability to adapt, to avoid that instinct to react, which is very helpful in certain situations for evolutionary purposes, but really not for day-to-day life. Go ahead and take both hands to the heart, and we'll commit to that intention for the rest of class. Inhale through the nose, out the mouth. All right, slowly start to open the eyes. We'll all reach the arms up overhead and look up. And then on the exhale, throw a little bend in the knees and take the hands out wide. And then, like a swan dive, you take a forward fold. Keep the knees bent, especially if this is new. That's going to help take it out of the low back. Press your hands into your shins. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then exhale, fold. Recruit the back of the legs. So use your hamstrings. Inhale, rise. This time with a flat back. Reach the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, big swan dive, forward fold. Halfway lift, lengthen the spine and feel your shoulder blades move back. Exhale, fold. Big inhale, we reach the arms up and look up. Exhale, take a swan dive, fold forward. Halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, we rise, reach the arms up. This is it. Big fold forward. Halfway lift and lengthen. On the exhale, bend your knees as much as you need to. Plant the hands, spread the fingers wide, and then step it back to plank. So plank 1, my knees are down. Plank 2, my knees are up. It's really up to you what you choose. If you feel like your low belly is like soft and your butt is falling down, just lower your knees and then really engage lower abdominals. Inhale here. Everyone tractions the knees or the toes forward towards the wrists and draws the inner shoulder back. Feel the back of the shoulder engage like we talked about before. And then we're going to keep our butt in the air, but just lower the knees, the chest, and the chin. Just like that. And then from here, I'm going to take my pelvis and move it down, press into my hands, and just take a little lift of my chest. So it's a little baby cobra is what we call it. And then exhale, lower back down, forehead to the floor. Press into your palms, wrap the elbows in, and really connect to what traction is like with the palms. And you can come up a little bit higher with the chest. And then exhale, can you pull the spine a little bit longer as you lower down? Maybe this time you take your hands wide. You could keep them where they were. This is going to get you a little bit more of a chest stretch. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower back down. Take the hands in close towards the rib cage. Squeeze the elbows in. Option 1, you press up into plank 1. Option 2, you press up into plank 2. Go on. Inhale, press it up. On the exhale, everybody moves the hips up and back, downward facing dog. So that's called a vinyasa. I'll show you a more fluid kind of movement here. We'll do it together. Inhale, shift the shoulders forward to your plank. Remember, you can take the knees down, then the chest and the chin on the exhale. Lower the hips. Inhale, lift the chest, cobra. Exhale, lower back down. Tuck the toes under. Come up through plank. Downward facing dog. There you go. That's vinyasa. Let's do it one more time so we can really teach the body that neuromuscular connection. Inhale shifts us forward into plank. Exhale, knees and chest and chin down. Hips down. Inhale, lift chest. Exhale, come back down. Tuck the toes. Inhale, press up through plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now you could take the plank out of it. I'll show you what I mean, just going through plank. So inhale, shift forward to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Lower the pelvis. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, tuck toes, hips up and back, downward facing dog. So you're just taking an extra breath out of there. Go ahead and walk the hands back towards the feet. Keep a little bend in the knees and release the wrists. Take the wrists and just shake them out. Okay, now bend your knees as much as you need to. Take the peace fingers. See if you can hook them around the big toes. Inhale, find a little length in the spine. And then exhale, fold over the thighs. So my peace fingers are wrapping around in between my big toe and my second toe. So my thumbs are moving around my big toe through the midline. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, walk the hands back forward, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward, and then step it forward. Here we go. We're doing that's a sun salutation. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Big inhale, we rise, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, palms press heart center. So I want to do an entire sun salutation A, or Surya Namaskar A with you together. So let's try it. Big inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, take your forward fold. Keep the knees bent, halfway lift, lengthen, strong thoracic spine, strong upper back. Exhale, plant the hands underneath the shoulders, step it back to plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Pelvis down. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes under, move the hips up and back, downward facing dog. You get 3 breaths in down dog. Now start to notice some of the subtleties here. You're pressing through the knuckle of the pointer finger. Is there's this little internal rotation of the hips, right? So that spreads out my sacrum, my low back, my SI joint. On the next inhale, heels up, knees bend, look forward, slowly step forward to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Big inhale to rise, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms press heart center. Soften the gaze. Take 2 breaths here and just notice what is shifting already. Okay. Inhale opens up the eyes. Reach the arms up. Exhale, big fold forward. Halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, put a little bend in the knees. Press the fingertips down into the mat underneath the shoulders. Press your right foot down. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. Look at your left foot. The left heel spins down. The left toes point out about 45 degrees. Look at your right knee. It stacks over the right ankle and the right toes point directly forward. Take your right thumb, put it into your right hip crease, and see if you can take your right hip back in space. Keep that. Inhale, rise up. This is warrior one. So we'll go ahead and straighten the right knee and come out for a second. We'll just check and make sure the right toes point forward and the left toes point out 45 degrees and the left heel is down. And then inhale, reach the arms up, bend the right knee and stack the right knee over the right ankle. Look down. Can you see the inside of the right foot? That's how you know your right knee is in a safe spot. On the exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. If your knee is going past your ankle, you get longer in your stance. And then straighten. And then bend. Stay now. Strong left leg. Reach the arms up. Soften the inner shoulder. And set your gaze maybe to where the ceiling meets the wall. For 2. Okay. We're going to open this up to a warrior 2. So what changes is my hips are opening away from each other. My left heel is still exactly where it was, but now the back of my left foot is parallel with the back edge of my mat. My right knee stays stacked over my right ankle. This time my arms are out to a T. My shoulders stack over my pelvis. Set your gaze to the right middle finger if you have balance. And then straighten the right knee. Inhale. Exhale, bend in. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. One more. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Maybe you can go a little longer in your stance. If the right knee is moving past the ankle, just make it longer just by kind of toe heeling your foot forward. All right, from here, we're going to flip the right palm and then inhale, reach the right arm up and back. You can use the left hand to press into the back of the left thigh as the right arm reaches. It's not a back bend, it's a side body bend. Inhale here. Exhale, rise up back to warrior 2. And then look down. See if you can cartwheel your hands down to frame the right foot. And then from here, you can vinyasa like we did before. Or you can step it right back to down dog. So you could go here, option 1. Or option 2, you step your right foot back. You take the knees, the chest, and the chin down. Then your pelvis. Then you inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, go down. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good job, guys. On the next inhale, lift heels, bend knees, and look forward. Make your way to the top of the mat. Toe heel the feet about mat width distance apart. Get a block or a big pillow or something that you want to rest the pelvis on, or you don't have to. If you know you want to go all the way into Malasana squat, you certainly can. What tends to happen here is that our heels pop up off the floor. If that's happening, go wider in your stance. So you can maybe even need to go beyond the edges of the mat to get your heels down. Or remember, you can always use the block there for support. What I want you to feel is the outer hips turning on, right? So we're not like forcing our way in with our arms. We're trying to keep our chest lifted and open up with our own external rotator strength. For 2. Good job. Slowly release the hands down, toe heel the feet back into underneath the hips. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Use the backs of the legs. Inhale to rise, reach the arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, palms press heart center. Good job. Look down, the feet are hip width. Drop the hips, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. This is chair pose. So just like you're sitting in a chair, the hips move back in space. You're light in the toes. There might be this tendency to reach the inner shoulder up. Don't reach the inner shoulder up. Soften there. And then feel the glutes turn on. Can you hug the ribs in for 2? And this is where some of the discomfort starts to creep in. And this is where you get to choose how you respond. Exhale, fold. Good job. Halfway lift. Exhale, fingertips down underneath the shoulders. Look down. Step your right foot towards the back of the mat. Right heel spins down. Right foot's at 45 degrees. Left foot is facing forward. Left knee stacks over left ankle. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Warrior 1. So again, check the knee now. Can you see the inside of the left ankle? Keep reaching the arms up. And then straighten out the left knee and exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Toe heel the left foot forward if you got room. Inhale. Exhale. If you're having trouble with balance, go wider in your stance. So you can move the left foot over to the left a little bit. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to stay in this one. Bend the left knee, reach the arms up. Strong outer right leg. So you're pressing into the outer edge of the right foot. You continue to draw the left hip back. Remember, you could adjust yourself by just taking your hands to your pelvis and just trying to square the hips a little bit. Just see what has to turn on around the pelvis to make that happen. One more breath here. Set your gaze. Good. Slowly we open it up. Warrior 2. All right. So I'm lucky because my mat has like this line from the front to the back, right down the center. So my feet are aligned right with that center line. So the left heel is in line with the center of my right foot. The back edge of my right foot is parallel with the back edge of the mat. My left knee stacks over my left ankle. I see the inner ankle. Typically, the way we set up in these standing postures is we focus on the base, the structure first, and then we build up from there. So because this is where you're more likely to hurt yourself if you're not set up right. So really just make sure those knees and feet are in the right spot. And then from there, you can work on getting the shoulders right over the pelvis, reaching the arms long, setting the gaze. Okay, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Stay in it. Exhale, bend. Set your gaze. Watch the heat build in the legs. Stay soft in the jaw. Relax the brow. Use the breath as the anchor. Good job. Flip the left palm. Inhale, reach the left arm up and back. This is that reverse warrior. The right hand supports you at the back of the right leg. You keep strong right leg. Good job. Inhale, we rise up through warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down like before. You can step it right back to downward facing dog, or you can vinyasa, lower down. Hips down, inhale, cobra. Exhale, we take it back down, tuck the toes, and go into downward facing dog. All right, on the next inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look forward, slowly step forward to the top of the mat. Take a halfway lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Right into chair pose this time. Don't hesitate, just go for it. We're here for 4. So how can I engage my outer hips more? Take your hands to your outer thighs and just gently press your thighs into your hands. That's how you know you're stabilizing from out here. For 2. Exhale, release, fold forward. So you can use blocks for this next part if you know you want some blocks or books or really firm pillows. Take a halfway lift. Press your right foot down into the floor, and then step your left foot towards the back of the mat. Release the left hand down to the floor or block underneath left shoulder. Inhale, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. So this is easy twist. Slowly reach the right hand back by your right hip. Look at your left heel. It's stacked over the left toes. So we're in this lunge shape. Now come up onto your left fingertips. You can stay, or you could reach the left hand back by left hip and take a power lunge for 3. Big breath here. Soften the face. You're training the nervous system. Slowly release. Lower left knee down. Good job, guys. Take a moment to come out of the hips. Look down. To begin, my right knee is stacked over my right ankle. My right hand catches my left wrist and just gently pulls the left wrist to the right. So I'm just getting this nice side body stretch here while I take a rest in my hip. And then inhale, come back up through center, release the bind, and then you decide, you could stay, or you could start to press the sole of the right foot down and traction the left hip forward. So all that means is I'm using the strength of my right leg to pull my right hip back so that the left hip automatically moves forward. Continue to press through the left shin. Obviously, the blocks are great here, so if you want to use those, you can for a little extra support. But big, big breaths for 2. You got one more. Good job, guys. Slowly release that. Walk the hands to the blocks. If you're using them, you could slide the left knee back like an inch and straighten the right leg. Flex the right toes up towards the ceiling. Again, you can adjust yourself. Right thumb to right hip crease. Just pull it back. And then from here, inhale, lift the chest so that you feel the muscles between the shoulder blades turn on. Press the right heel down and pull it back so you feel right hamstring is really strong. And then from there, as long as you can breathe and keep the extension in the upper back, then you can fold. For 2. One more. Inhale, get long with the spine. Move the left block out of the way. Press the entire left palm down into the floor. Remember, spread the fingers wide and see if you can wrap your left elbow in like we did before to support the back of the left shoulder. I'm gonna move my block out of the way here so you can see. I'm going to take my right hand to my right hip and see if I have the strength to start to pick my right foot up. Otherwise, just slide it to the back of the mat. Now, the sole of my right foot presses down, my left shin presses down, and if I feel stable, my right arm reaches up. If you like full side plank, of course, you could straighten the bottom leg. I'm going to stay here. You can continue to reach the right arm up or take the right arm forward. Big side body stretch here. It should feel really good. One more. All right. Take your right hand back to your right hip just to tighten up your center of gravity. And we're going to pick the right foot up and step it towards the top of the mat. So a lot more core too. Walk the fingertips in front of the right foot. Maybe get your blocks ready just in case. We're going to stand up into a standing split. So left toes tuck, left knee straightens. My hands move to my blocks if I need them, and I lift my left leg up. If you have a little more space, the fingertips move towards the floor, maybe right hand to right heel, forehead to shin. Lots of options. Little bend in the right knee. Left knee lowers towards the floor. And then we take a forward fold with knees bent. Just relax the face, the jaw, take some shoulder rolls. And we'll get ready to move into the other side. Slowly, we'll go back into your chair. Drop the hips, reach the arms up. Super strong. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, take a halfway lift. Exhale, fingertips down to blocks or floor. Pick the right foot up, step it to the back of the mat. Look at right heel. It stacks over the right toes. Right palm plants to floor or block underneath right shoulder. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. See if you can squeeze the feet together as you twist. Look down, reach the left hand back towards left hip. Left thumb points out laterally, and then come up onto right fingertips. Strong right leg. So use the support of your right leg too. And then if you've got stability, reach the right hand back by right hip, right thumb points out. For 3. For 2. 1. Good job. Stay easy, stay soft. Don't rush your way out of this. Just lower the right knee towards the floor, untuck the right toes, come out for a second. Reach the arms up. Left hand catches right wrist, draws right wrist towards the left. One more. Okay, come back up through center. You could stay up here, or we can take our blocks if we want to use them and slide forward with the hips. You could keep hands down or hands to thigh or reach. Remember the traction, remember the strength in the legs. That's what gives you stability for 2. One more. Here we go. Come on out. Good job, guys. Blocks if you need them. Slide the right knee back a couple inches. Straighten the left leg. Flex the left toes up towards the ceiling. Remember, long spine first. Bring your shoulders back. Press the left heel down. Fire up the left hamstring. And then fold over the left leg. For 2. One more. All right. Halfway lift. Get your blocks out of the way. You know where we're going. Side plank, otherwise known as Vashisthasana. Take your right hand, press it down underneath the right shoulder. Remember, spread the fingers wide. Take your right elbow crease and make it point like as far forward as you can. Keep a little micro bend in the right elbow. Left hand to left hip. Trust that your shoulder can support you as you pick the left leg up and send the left foot to the back of the mat. You could reach the left arm up. Right shin presses down, core is lifting, navel is in. If you've got stability, gaze shifts up. Maybe reach the left arm forward, get that length in the side body for 2. And one more. Okay, left hand back to left hip. Pick the left knee up, step it forward to the top of the mat, look forward. Blocks if you need them. You know where we're going. Standing split. Tuck the right toes under. Straighten the right knee. Fingertips in front of the left foot or to block. Fold over the left leg. You can keep the pelvis open or you can square it off. I don't really care. I want it to feel good. Maybe right hand to right heel. I know that's kind of a lot. Little bend in left knee. Right foot finds the floor. Bend the knees a lot, and then slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, palms press heart center. Good job. Okay, I'm going to face you so you can kind of see where we go next. This is tree pose. It's an awesome meditative pose. So it really draws a lot of focus in, and that's the point. So look down, left foot presses into the floor. Can you take the sole of the right foot to the inner left ankle? You could take your hands to your hips just so they're not swinging around, or to the inner calf. Or keep a little micro bend in your left knee. Do not lock it out. You could pick the right ankle up with your right hand and slide the right foot to the inner left thigh. And then once you're there, the tendency is for this right thigh to want to pull forward and the left hip to pull back. Can you open up both hips out symmetrically? And then once you're there, notice your tendencies to kind of stick the chest out. That's okay, but I want you to keep hugging the ribs in. So this entire torso area is nice and tight and stable. And then if you feel balanced and you have your gaze set at one point, you might reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Keep the gaze. That's crucial to maintaining the balance here. And watch the breath as it becomes steady through all that movement. And if you feel like you want a little more, some people like to reach the right forearm to the right thigh and the left arm to the right, just more into that side body. It's tricky. And then we'll come back up and then press the palms together. Then let the leg go. Then let the arms go. Good job. Shake it out. Forget about it. And we'll do the other side. So right foot grounds, sole of left foot to inner left ankle, calf or thigh. And once you catch where you're going. Just try to avoid the knee for in the beginning, just because it's we just don't, nobody wants to really be pushing out laterally on our knee like that. Okay. Hands to hips first. Check in. Are my hips moving away from each other? Is my core engaged? Are my ribs moving in towards each other, my front ribs? Is my chest proud? And is my gaze set? Is the breath steady? If you've got it, reach the arms up. You're welcome to take any arm variation that feels good. You could stay, like I said before. And if you're on carpet, I'm sorry. Left forearm could rest in left thigh, and right arm could reach to the left. We'll bring it back up. Press the palms together. Don't rush your way out. Every transition counts. And then release the left foot to the floor. You did it. Good job. Okay. So let's wrap this up. We'll go ahead and do a pigeon. Let's sit down and do pigeon seated. So I am resting my right shin in front of my left, and that's option one. If you know you've got some more mobility around the pelvis, then you could take the right shin and stack it on top of the left. If this looks more like a greater than sign, then you might wish to slide a pillow in between for support, or like I said before, rest the shin in front. Okay? Inhale, press the fingertips down. See if you can lift the chest and take the tailbone back. Stay here because I know this is intense, or you could fold. Block is always kind of nice, but try to be active in the toes, like flex the toes back, be active in the hips, press the thighs down, draw the navel in for 2. Walk the hands back in. Okay, we're going to twist. Take the right foot and press it to the floor to the outside of the left thigh. Take the left heel and just gently hug it in. If that's not happening today, you can straighten the left leg out in front of you. Okay? Otherwise, right fingertips reach back behind you. Inhale, reaches the left arm up. Exhale, hug the right thigh with the left arm. Press the right seat down and twist to the right. The gaze will eventually shift back behind. One more. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release, a little counter. If you want to try something fun, join me. So we're going to just spin around and land in the same shape on the other side. So I'm going to press my fingertips down to my left. I'm going to pick my hips up, spin my feet, walk my hands around in a circle, spin my feet, and then here I am on the other side. Or just switch your legs like this. Okay, so this time the sole of my left foot is pressing down to the outer right thigh. The left fingertips reach back behind. Like I said before, straighten the right leg if this is too much. Right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, you hug the left thigh towards you as you lift the chest and look back. When the poses start to slow down and it requires less focus on the mind to watch movement, this is when the mind starts to wander. So it's critical to bring the breath back. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release. Take a little counter, both fingertips to the right. Inhale, sit up. Exhale, find your pigeon. So again, this is left shin on top of right or left shin in front of right. No matter what variation you're in, the toes, the ankles are flexed. Okay. Activate the thighs, press the fingertips down, lift the chest, take your tailbone back, and then maybe you stay upright. Maybe you start to fold. Don't forget to activate the legs for 2. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release. Okay. Spin if you're not there already so that the feet face the front of your mat, and we'll lie down and take our pelvis up and slide something to elevate our hips underneath the sacrum. So the sacrum is that big flat kind of part of our pelvis in the back. So you'll know that you found it when this is actually comfortable. So you could do a block like I'm doing. You could do a couple pillows. That's probably the best. Those are the two best things. And then once you're here, just let the pelvis be supported. So we're letting the front of the hips open and the low back reset. And if you want a little more here, you could hug the right knee in towards you and extend the left leg long. It's kind of nice. The left heel might float around the air. That's totally fine. Or just let it be supported. Floor or no floor. And be soft and easy in the shoulders so the neck can relax. And then we'll lower the right foot down and then bring the left sole of foot in. So we're back in this like supported bridge shape, and just kind of let things recirculate around the pelvis. And then we'll move to the other side. Left knee in, right leg extends long. So you can catch the left shin and interlace the fingers there, or even the hamstring works. It's the weight of the arms. It's not really the pulling, it's the weight of the arms that does the work. This is a pose where the more we surrender, the more we get out of it. You can close the eyes. Just watching the front of that right hip get longer, and not in a way that we're forcing or pushing, but in a way that's sustainable, in a way that tells the nervous system it's okay to create length here, countering all the sitting that we do. Lower the left foot, bring the right foot back in, pick the pelvis up off the block, and lower very deliberately one vertebrae at a time. Good. And then just kind of take the knees side to side like windshield wipers. And you can set up for legs up the wall. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm just sliding towards the wall here and putting my feet up the wall. And some of us might even want to get the hips elevated above the heart. You can do that too. Just slide the block or pillows underneath the sacrum and then let the heels rest up against the wall. And then tuck the shoulder blades under when you get there and the palms face up, and we'll just kind of watch this kind of subtle flow of blood and oxygen make its way from the legs to the pelvis, and the abdomen, and the heart. And the breath can start to shift to become more effortless. So you find this natural rhythm like we started. Awareness starts to shift from this sensation in the physical body to the pulse of the breath, just as it is. You're welcome to stay here if this feels really good for your rest, or you can make your way over to Shavasana. So you just pick your hips up if they're up high and move them off the block and roll over to one side. Find your mat. Lie back. Take over your space. And again, we tuck the shoulder blades under here. And this is a pose where we allow every big joint to get heavy. The heels and ankles, the knees and pelvis, shoulders, elbows, wrists. One last time, we'll consciously soften the jaw, the root of the tongue, the brow. As we relax the mind, you don't have to focus on anything. You let things, thoughts, sensations move in and move out. Can you observe the mind like you observe the breath? Slowly begin to deepen the breath. You can invite some movement back into the fingers and the toes. Make circles with the wrists and the ankles. Walk the feet in one at a time. Bring the knees into the chest and roll over to one side. You can use the bicep as a pillow. Press your palm down into the floor, and we'll rise up and find that seat, that comfortable seat that we began with. Keep the eyes closed if you can. We return to that intention, moving from steadiness, clarity, so that we become more fluid, we become more resilient as every day poses a new change. This is a practice of adaptation, because there is something inside every single one of us that is always there, steady and able to adapt. Go ahead and press the palms together and then rub them pretty quickly so you make some heat. And then start to drop the chin in towards the chest. Take the heels of the hands towards the sockets of the eyes, and then just drop the brow into the palms. Let the jaw be soft. And just imagine like anxiety, thoughts, worry just kind of dripping out of the frontal lobe here. You're able to receive them and let them go. Inhale through the nose. Soften out the mouth. Lift the head gently and press the palms together. Inhale, take the thumbs up to the brow. And then exhale, bow forward, sealing your yoga practice. Namaste. Thank you so much. Please let me know if you have questions. You could send a message, email me, write me in the comments. I love you guys. Thank you.